Woo! Welcome to the Cafe A. About to get you live stream play by play. CJ in here, Terry in here. I'm just trying to get your boss speakers up here. What we say? Started on this journey, we ain't never trying to finish. First phase, this is just beginning of this business. Thanks for tuning in because we really need a witness. Running in this race, but it's Terry with the vision. CJ ideas with the quickness. Then it's me connect, add business. Next, add y'all the audience to the mix. Woo! Stay lit, my guy, we winning. Time to have fun, Cafe. Whoa! 3 creators, 3 perspectives, 1 goal. Grab your popcorn now, let's play. Everybody, welcome to Creator Cafe. Hey! Welcome to Creator Cafe. 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 Woo! Welcome to the Cafe A. About to get you live stream play by play. CJ in here, Terry in here. I'm just trying to get your boss speakers up here. What we say? Started on this journey, we ain't never trying to finish. First phase, this is just beginning of this business. Thanks for tuning in because we really need a witness. Running in this race, but it's Terry with the vision. CJ ideas with the quickness. Then it's me connect, add business. Next, add y'all the audience to the mix. Woo! Stay lit, my guy, we winning. Time to have fun, Cafe. Whoa! 3 creators, 3 perspectives, 1 goal. Grab your popcorn now, let's play. Everybody, welcome to Creator Cafe. Hey!
Alright, we going live, players.
Oh, it's time, baby.
It is time. Let me count off the song. I'm over here. We on, player. We on.
Baby,
Mama made it.
We are live.
Well, let me get my face right up in this camera. Hold on a second. Y'all see I got that freshness going on right now.
Okay.
Oh, he got a fresh cut. Fresh cut. Hey, I ain't never seen Terry without a cut. I will admit. This dude.
Terry every week in the barbershop.
Hey, I swear his barber must live with him. He back there with the golden clippers right now.
Hey, man. You got to stay fresh, man.
Every morning he wake up, he be like, did you... Getting right back.
Stay with the beater on.
Oh man, you know, hold up, player. Terry Warfield inspired. Terry Warfield inspired. Nah, it's hot, player. It's just hot as it's hot as hell in St. Louis.
Oh man,
that is
talking
true.
to each other. We got people in the stream, so I'll do the introduction this time. Right?
Go ahead, my guy.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Creator Cafe. We are back for another. What episode is this? Like episode.
Player, we ain't counting episodes yet.
We ain't even counting. We're back for episode. We are not even counting. So you got Terry Warfield, CJ Knows Tech, and whatever his name is, Undershirt. My dude, Undershirt. Tech. So as usual, we're gonna do a very, very early roll call. We're gonna answer the question of last week, and then we're gonna get into the meat and potatoes of this stream. So this week we are talking about the real about brand deals. So we'll get back to that. Let's do the roll call. CJ, it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn to call him out? Well, okay. Head of security, El Jefe, with his popcorn ready to go. We got
El Jefe.
We got Shellback Tech. What up, player? You know what I'm saying? Oh, we got our infamous Ashley Morrell in the building. Yo, shout out.
What up?
We got, who else? I just saw it. We got Joan. I forgot. She just changed her last name. Joan. I forgot. Start with an S. What is it? Anyway, shout out to Joan. We got Zach Talks Tech in the building. What up, Zach, man? Much love to Zach, man.
Much love, Zach.
We also have LeBaron Burton in the building. What up, bro?
LB, what up?
You know what I'm saying?
That's funny how we both came up with the same nickname for him just off the rip. Hey, LB, what up?
We got the Review Suite. What up, fam? And the Creator Spotlight show as always was good.
Hey, what up?
And anybody else who come in, what up, player? Anybody watching the replay, what up, player?
Hey, drop the donation link before we get started, man. We do accept donations on this stream, so if you like what we do, if you would like to support Creator Cafe, we don't mind if it's a penny or a million pennies, whatever. Is very much appreciated. Even if you don't, we still appreciate you coming through.
Get my stuff together. I'm slacking. El Jefe, you ain't got my back play. I'm over here slipping. Let me try
to. out there.
El Jefe with it. Oh, my man. El Jefe. I knew he was coming. Locked and loaded as always. My man.
If you guys don't mind, go tweet the link out. Tell your friends, family, baby daddy, baby mama. Tell them to come kick it with it.
Auntie, your daddy, your papa. Tell them all.
Because we got some good stuff that we want to talk about. And I guess let's just go ahead and get into it, man. What's the question we want to talk about from last week?
All right, so one of the things somebody talked about was pretty much just on how we structure or approach partnerships and brand deals with companies.
Oh,
What is going on?
Hold up.
Here we go.
Hey,
Oh, we
we
back.
back.
We
We
back.
back.
We back.
We just making sure y'all stay. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Little test.
Skype, man. Listen,
hey man.
the last week we using Skype.
StreamYard next week, y'all. We're gonna be testing StreamYard next week because Skype is failing to play hard. Man.
So so basically to get back to the question, basically what we said was how do we structure and approach partnership and brand deals with companies? Man, I think for myself, I started off, for me, man, it's mainly let's see. I basically like to create relationships with the companies first. Like that's one of my major things. I don't like just jumping into a deal just because number one, they may throw money on the table, or or if it's just a well-known brand. For me, I like to get people on the phone. I like to talk to them. I like to know what y'all are about. The representatives, like, are they just some cool people or whatever, before I just hop into a deal. And so that's, for me, that's my major approach, is building a relationship first before I actually agree to any type of deal or sponsorship on my channel or doing any type of videos with a company. So that's my first approach before we get real deep into the nitty gritty of this stream. But
yes, I got some stuff to say.
Yeah, we got, for sure. But that's what I do.
CJ, you go ahead, go next.
All right, so basically, all right, number one, I have a list of brands that are like my ideal brands to work with, and those are the brands that I definitely want to build like long-term relationships with. I'm open to other brands that reach out and pitch, as long as they, we get a lot of junk mail in this space. So, but when it comes to like legit brands that I like, I'm definitely trying to build a long-term relationship. Above all things, I want to have something that we can build upon and grow. I don't just want a short quickie. I don't know what happened to C Kid, but see y'all. Oh, a hashtag where is C Kid running out of batteries? What's up, player?
I'm switching the camera. I had to switch to manual focus, man.
Oh, I don't know. Wait. Crazy Rodzilla with the donation. What up, player? Yo, hey.
Appreciate the support, fam. Appreciate you.
Respect, bro. Yeah, he just had to make that donation. Now, C Kid got his lights back on. We good to go, player. We are good to go. But yeah, man, like I'm kind of like C Kid too. I like building a relationship. I want something long term. I don't just want, like I said, I don't want no quickie, no one night stand. Although sometimes some brand deals are like that. You know what I mean? You just kind of, you guys might just do a quick deal and be done with each other. You know what I mean? But long term is definitely way better. Terry Warfield.
I'm gonna go ahead and basically quote everything y'all just said, okay? Because I don't have anything different to say. However, I would like to propose a question. I would really like to propose a question. When do y'all think it's appropriate in your YouTube quote unquote career to start thinking about brand deals? And let me rewind even further. Maybe it's people watching that like, what the hell is a brand deal? So let me put some context around that. So if you don't know what we're talking about, so basically once you are when you're a content creator, especially doing anything related to any type of, something materialistic, whether it be, electronics or tech or makeup, whatever it is, once you start making enough noise, places will start to reach out to you to try to leverage your audience. And you may do the same. You may get, a company that you want to work with, or like, oh man, I would love to test this on my channel. So you might hit them up and see how you guys can cooperate or collaborate, I should say. But the question is, my good fellas, when is it too early or too late to start thinking about brand deals on your YouTube channel?
I think for me, I didn't really. All right, so I'll take a step back for a second. I think the very first thing for me was I was new into the whole camera game, being a creative. just understanding how to edit videos, understanding how to use a camera. For me, I had to actually learn to build upon my craft first. That was my very, very first step, because I wanted to feel comfortable enough to whereas a company can say, okay, well, I'm looking at his work and what he can put out and feel comfortable with just feel comfortable with my craft and how to use a camera. So that was my very first thing. So I didn't reach out to brands until after I felt comfortable enough to whereas I feel like I could shoot anything. So that was the very first thing. So for me personally, I think it's not a good idea to shoot for, trying to get a brand deal until you have perfected, not necessarily perfected, until you are at a point where you feel comfortable with maybe fulfilling requirements of what a company may ask for. They may want a specific shot, or they may want specific type of content for that shot or whatever, or for their product or whatever. So I think I would wait until you feel comfortable enough to fulfill whatever a brand may be offering. That was for me. Now I'm at a point where I feel like I can do some crazy stuff with a camera. I'm not saying that I'm on a top end level with using a camera yet, but I feel comfortable enough to shoot anything. So that's for me.
My bad. I know I was muted. I just fixed it. You know what I'm saying, player? My bad.
So you was talking that whole time and nobody heard.
Nobody heard.
I know. Hey man, look, my bad, man. Okay, so look,
Okay.
like I said, I couldn't remember exactly what level I was at when I started, but I started like going at my list of brands, the brands that I wanted to work with and wanted to build relationships with. I was in those Instagram DMs like crazy. I still got the IG DMs on lock right now, and they probably got my pitch sitting right there in their DM, but I don't know if there's any too early point or if there's any too late point per se. I just think once you're comfortable, like, and you feel like how Devin said, you ready to go out and get after it, man, go. Shoot for the stars, man. You never know what will happen. Man, I can't even tell you, man, this boy Devin and the stuff he be asking for, player, every time I hear him talk about his next brand deal that he pitching, it's, man, look, hey, I'm just saying.
Gotta shoot for the stars, baby.
Hey, look, he's shooting for overseas, player. He's going, man, that boy right there, y'all gotta watch that.
I ain't playing no games.
Listen, whatever you think, if you're a creator in this thread, if you think you got a good pitch, I'm telling you right now, excuse my language, your pitch ain't shit. Like, you got, you ain't seen a pitch until you seen a pitch from Devin. But I guess it's my turn. So I'm gonna take it a little bit further, right? I think you should start pursuing brand deals when you're comfortable with yourself and what you bring to the table. And the reason I say that is because if you're not comfortable with yourself or what you bring to the table, brands are like wolves, you know what I'm saying? They will sniff that stuff out, I'm sorry. And they can detect that, you know what I'm saying? So I would say when you get to a point where you're comfortable as a creator, at least comfortable enough to approach a brand and say, this is who I am, this is what I want, and here's how much I charge, which a lot of people aren't comfortable with, what they charge, then at that point you should start reaching out or even talking to brands. Now, Hefe brought up something that I wanted to bring up. And this is because when you are starting out as a YouTuber, not even starting out, like as you progress into your YouTube career, you start pitching at brands and talking to brands, you are going to get told no. And you got to be ready for that. You are going to get told no, hell no. You're going to get hung up. You know what I'm saying? Like, brands are going to tell you no 1,000 different times. And you can't let that deter you because, first of all, it don't matter if your pitch is perfect and you got the perfect audience. Some brands are just not going to be interested, period. But the other part of it is law of averages. Like, you have to keep digging until you find gold. So that's one thing I did want to share because Hefe just brought it up. Like, you're going to get ignored. Cold calling is rough. Cold emails are rough. but it's a necessary evil if you want to get deals, especially starting out, because starting out, a lot of brands are not going to be reaching out to you. You're going to be doing a majority of hitting up brands because they don't know about you yet. So that's going to be a huge part of it. But yeah,
Hey,
I think
Hey, El Jefe, another part of that too, like we think we being ignored, but actually we probably reaching out to the wrong email or the wrong, like some of these IG accounts are being ran by like computers and third-party software, so they not even in the IG. Same thing with the email. Like a lot of times I've had people respond to the email like, okay, I'm gonna forward this to my marketing department,
Right.
forward this to the PR. So it's like, you know, we trying to go hit up the brand, and the brand like, look, we don't even control this. We got a team
Right.
or a whole nother agency that does this for us. So it's also finding the right avenue to get in there. Like a lot of people don't know that. You think just because you hitting up X brand directly, you getting through. No, there's PR teams, there's marketing teams, there's XYZ. So you got to find the right person. Also, I saw Joan was saying that, you know, she can't buy products anymore, so she's reaching out to brands. And hey, that's a way. That's a way to do it. I mean, there's a lot of brands. There's a lot of these brands that are just looking for people to give their stuff to.
Right. Right.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't know what advice to give you, Joan. Other than like follow, like reach out and see if you can, and maybe you know, try to offer enough value to make them feel comfortable giving you whatever it is that you trying to get from them. Like that's the number one thing. They have to feel like they're getting an exchange as opposed to just giving you a product. Like you got to offer that value.
so. All right, now that you brought that up, my fault, Devin. I didn't mean to cut you off, but now that you brought that up, like I want y'all to think when y'all are hitting up brands. What if you were a brand, right, and people were hitting you up? And if you got an email from somebody that you don't know from Boo Boo the Fool walking down the street saying, hey, my name is blah, blah, blah. I have a tech channel, blah, blah, blah. I want you to send me a XYZ from my channel. You would be like, what are you talking about? I don't know you. Delete. So, like, I guess that's a little bit of sauce I wanted to drop right quick. Something that I've learned that's, you know, it's taken a minute for me to kind of turn my brand pictures around and stuff like that. When y'all hitting up these brands, man, stop making it about you. You want to know why you get told so much is because you making it about you. Put yourself in the shoes of the brand. Like if I'm pitching a brand, if I'm a rapper and I'm going at Diddy, I'm going to try to make sure that he understand how much value I could bring to the table. Not, yo, here go my mixtape. He don't care about that. You know what I'm saying? So when y'all are hitting up brands, start thinking about what it is that you can do for the brand versus what you want the brand to do for you. And the question I like to ask, I ain't gonna reveal all of my sauce, but one question I like to ask is, like, what do you want out of a creator partnership? That's a great question that you can ask early on in your pitch. So you let them do the talking. And then after that, you can kind of augment and move your pitch around based off of what they said to you about what they want out of a creative
Hey, you just gave a major. Hey, Terry just dropped a major jewel. Player, hold on, player. You just dropped a major jewel over here. That probably flew over some heads right there.
Joan, I want to go back to what Joan said. And this, because it kind of ties to exactly what y'all was saying. Like the biggest thing that I try to do is when I'm pitching my deals to companies, I like to pitch value. And I know CJ and Terry talked about that. Value is the number one thing that they care about. They don't care about how dope your channel is. They don't care about how much sauce you put in the video. They don't care about none of that. All they care about is their ROI at the end of the day. What are they going to get out of it? So, Joan, to go back to what you were saying about your financial situation to change, I think one of the things that you can do, because I know you mentioned about, you know, you may not have the money, and that's not even just you. Like, I can attest to that as too. Like, sometimes I may not have the funds allocated to be able to spend to go get another pair of headphones or to go, you know, buy a game or whatever I want to review or whatever at the time, or to buy a phone or something like that. But what you can do, you can actually do video content giving your opinions about what you see. So let's say, for example, like think about it like this: if one of your friends was out there and they walked up to you in the middle of the street, or came knocked on your door, or just saw you out and about, and they say, "Hey, Joan, what do you think about the Note 10? Like, what's your opinions about the Note 10?" Your response to her or your response to him, that is your video content that you could be putting on your channel that you could talk about without actually having the product in itself. You can still give your value that way. And then, for example, that video does well just by you giving your opinion about it. And that video does well. Let's say that Samsung now takes notice of that and say, wow, here's a person that really gave a really good insight into our product. She didn't even have a product or whatever, but look at the amount of traffic and look at how much interaction that she's getting on her channel, and all the while you never even got the product. But then maybe that following year, maybe they'll take notice of that again and say, hey, you remember that one girl that did, who did that whole video on that? Now you're getting the phone sent to you, or so maybe sometimes it's not always about having a product. It's just what value can you offer to that company without them even giving you anything.
Hey,
and then from there, you got leverage.
I was just gonna say, Joan, trying to build a channel based off of having physical products is that's a slippery slope. Hold on, somebody just dropped some paper on. What is that? Iconic Mods in the building with the, you know what I mean? So, what I wanted to say, Joan, is like, you gotta look at the tech space. Like, there's a few creators out there that never have a product, and they killing it. Like my boy Travis, MCP.
You just stole my point, DJ.
My bad, player. But Travis is out here crushing. Like, he putting up numbers, and it's not always a physical product in his hand. Same thing with John Prosser. Jason, Painfully Honest Tech. Like, commentary is a popular platform on YouTube. So think about that. Like, it's not like if you have a personality and people value your opinion, they'll come and watch and see what you have to say. And you're offering value in another term, just like C-Kid said. And Terry, go ahead, add your extra sauce on that point.
Man, you basically stole what I was going to say. But you brought up an interesting topic, so I'm going to spin that a little bit, right? So, in essence, we all really talk about, big shout out to Iconic, man. Major respect for that donation. But yeah, you got to think about it, man. We are all talking about basically the same stuff, right? The only difference that separates us from all of these products when we're talking about it is the personality. So don't think, me? What did I do? And why is your screen black? Hey, everybody hashtag, where's CJ? Where is CJ right now?
Where's CJ?
Where is CJ? CJ got stolen by the Skype though. Well, yeah, so like I had to get out of that because Joan, I'm not gonna front. I'm not made of money, you know what I'm saying? I basically lead a family with 5 children, a wife, you know what I'm saying? And money is hard to come by when you got all of these bills to pay. So don't think because you can't always get your hands on a product that, like they said, you can't make a video about it. People will value your unique perspective, even if it's about the same product everybody else is reviewing. People come to your channel because they want to see what you have to say about it. Me, CJ, and Devin just got back from the Galaxy event, and we basically, in a nutshell, all talked about the same stuff, but none of our videos are anything like the next. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we all have different sauces. We all have different personalities, different opinions. So don't be afraid to go over something just because you don't have it. I just did a video on the RX Mark 100, and I never touched that camera. And the video did really well. So that's, there's a lot of channels out there, like they said, that, that product thing is, just whatever.
But I'm not going, to add to that, Joan, I'm not going to lie. Having the product does make a difference. Now, I'm not going to sit up here and act like it don't. If you can get the product, then yeah, it does make a difference. Like, I mean, you look at, some people that may got, for example, like the phones early or whatever. Like, it does somewhat make a difference in regards to that, but don't let that be a hindrance to why you can't create something.
Hey, I'm gonna just say this: your boy Travis putting up numbers out there without, So I'm gonna just say, if you develop your personality and your commentary, you can still put up numbers. Prosser putting up crazy numbers, and he never, and he gets the products. He just doesn't bring that side to his platform. Like he gets products, but it's not. You know what I mean? So,
Trav, what up?
oh look, just talking
Trav,
about the
just
boy.
popped in. What up, Trav?
Brought in raccoon neck.
Who
What
said
up,
my
man?
name? Get your hand out my
Hey, he sniffed it out like.
right.
Yeah, we just giving you your flowers, Travis. You know what I mean? We
Yeah,
paying
man, we giving you
respect
your
because you out here doing the numbers and you out here creating the content and you creating very
Engaging.
yes, and you're doing it without the products. You're just doing it off of your commentary, you know what I mean, your personality and just your knowledge. So I'm just trying to pass that along to Joan and other creators that can't always go out and buy these expensive tech products to just maybe consider doing that, because that's actually the win. That's the win-win. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That's
'Cause you
low
gotta think-
overhead.
Yeah, if you do it like
all
that,
your
you
money in your
not
pocket.
you not reliant on. And before we get back to like brand deals, like you're not reliant on making sure that you have a product to make a video. Once your audience trusts you and they know what to expect from you, that's the thing. Like once they know what to expect from you and you're making it a point every video where, yo, these are just my thoughts. These are just my thoughts. You know, people aren't expecting you to show up with the device or whatever it is. So like I think I've actually, like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We've had conversations between me, CJ, and Devin, like, yo, do we really want to keep splurging on products or do we want to go commentary? So I think it is a good, you know, self-conversation that you need to have when it comes to how you want to run your channel. Because don't think you can't have a successful channel just because you don't have physical product.
Exactly.
That's a fact.
Yep.
A lot
That's
of
it.
yeah.
But
Big fact.
but also like to tie that into like brand deals, don't think because you don't necessarily have products in hand that brands won't be willing to send you products to talk about or review. So that, you know, always keep that in the back of your head. Brands are tapping into, like, they want access to your audience. They don't really care about you reviewing it. They want access to your audience.
Yep.
So it don't
And
matter
your
if
personality.
you and your personality. So even if you don't have products and nothing like that, like brands want to tap into your audience. Don't forget
Hey,
that.
Travis just dropped a jewel because he said showing that subs counts don't mean as much as being a person with a message. Like, you think about some of your favorite creators. Some of them you follow them because like their message or their what their content does for you. It has nothing to do with the product or anything like that. It's them. And you gotta like create that for your family. Like that's how you create a tribe. That's how you create what really equals success. Like, man, to get people to come back every time you drop a video and support
That's
you,
hard.
that's
that's
what
hard.
matters. Like you see these people who taking off is because they have a loyal fan base. YouTube is looking at the reaction of the audience. Like when they suggest you, are these people, and the people who come back loyally, that's really helping you. So that's really what it's about. It ain't about who got the product first and all this stuff. It's about building a tribe, like 100%. Y'all need to read Primal Branding. I haven't finished the book, but it kind of talks about things like that, like having a brand. And you gotta have a tribe, man. This is 100% important.
All right, so look, do y'all want to add anything else when it comes to, I guess, brand deals? I mean, I feel like we can go on forever. but
Yeah,
it's some
yeah.
good
I got a
questions
question in there. Yeah, I see a question. in there. I just saw Hustle to Create. Hold up, hold up, play. Somebody just called. Nah, he said, how do you guys feel about rebranding? Can you do a video in the Hustle to Create channel about rebranding? What are you trying to rebrand? RP3 Tech Reviews?
Crazy.
Well, that's a
Rozilla
good
came
question,
with
but
fire
before
question.
we do that, I just want to go back up.
Crazy
and send a
Rozilla
special
asked
shout
us.
out. I want to send a shout out to Travis because CJ, you didn't read the first part of that message you put.
I saw that. But you know, come on, man. You know, humble CJ. Come on, man.
Travis,
Yo,
man,
appreciate you, Trav.
yeah, that means a lot. That means a lot coming
Appreciate
from
you,
you, man.
bro.
Let me read that out in case somebody missed it. This is truth. These three cats. I'm implying he's talking about me, CJ, and Devin, because like, all right, our busting the game up is showing that sub counts don't mean as much as being a person with the message. Absolutely agree. And Hefe just said before I pass the mic back, new creators need to value themselves, especially when starting out. Access
Yes.
to your okay, all right. So
Yes.
we can't move on yet because
El Jefe,
and we
man,
wanted to talk about
100%.
that. Remember? So can I do it?
Hey, go ahead, brother.
All right, listen. If you new on YouTube, stop letting these brands push y'all. Where's CJ? Where is CJ? Stop letting these brands push y'all around. And this is part of what I said. Like, you need to be confident in what you bring to the table when you work it with these brands. Because if they sense that you are not confident in what you're offering, they will try to like pigeonhole you and nickel and dime you because you're not comfortable in asking for what you're worth. So I just want to throw that out there, man. Stop letting brands push all around.
Hey, Matt said something really good too, because he said brands are focusing more on engagement rates too, which is very important because you can have a bunch of views, but if ain't nobody engaging or converting, it means nothing. So definitely a good point.
But yeah, I definitely want to tag along what Terry was just talking about, man. Like, 100% do not let these brands, man, push you around because, again, you are what they're wanting to have access to. They want access to your creativity. They want access to your boldness. They want access to just your thoughts and your ideas and your interactions. So, CJ already know what I'm about to go.
Oh, it's going down. I'm telling you, I'm going.
Oh my God!
Hey, ready.
So I had some. It's been an eventful week with brands, man. I'll say that the least. Now I'm not gonna actually say the company's name, man, just because, you know, it's just been a lot. So basically, I had this company, man, and so I had this company, man, and we, you know, had a deal with them or whatever. We did the video. They sent the product out. Then they come back later saying that, hey, they liked the content that was put out. Next thing, they wanted to do some other content with me, so whatever. So next thing I know, I get an email coming back, and it's out of the blue saying stuff about they don't know if they could trust me as a creator. Although the initial video that I did with them did well. But one of the things that I noticed was when the company came back all of a sudden saying that, well, we don't know if we can trust you, because what happened was when they came back and they reached back out to me, they basically said, hey, we want you to be a part of this campaign that we're trying to do. So my initial thought was, okay, well, I did the first video for you guys for free. I didn't charge you for the rap textile video. I didn't charge you for the video. I just did it for free just to build that relationship, what I was talking about earlier. So next thing I know, what happens is I get, you know, I send them, hey, here's my rates for if you want me to be a part of this new campaign that you got. Because obviously by you guys reaching back out to me, you let me know that you enjoyed the first piece of content that I created. So next thing I get an email back saying that, well, they don't know if they could trust me as a content creator, which was just out of the blue, which was just crazy. But what was happening was they were trying to basically, what I call it, they're trying to little bro me. And basically what I mean by that is they're looking at sub count and comparing it to other larger channels. And they're basically saying that, well, you don't have the numbers that some of these other ones have. And so basically with that, what they were trying to do is just basically, mentally, they were trying to break me down to say, well, I'm such a small creator, and then pretty much just go from there. So what I'm saying is don't be afraid to stand your ground. And I mentioned that on Twitter not too long ago. Don't be afraid to stand your ground and stick with what you believe in. If a company is not valuing you as a creator and what you can bring to the table, even if you've done work with them in the past, if a company is not valuing that, don't be afraid to walk away from brand A or whatever that brand is to keep your own sanity and to keep what you bring into the table and basically to fight for other creators. So I just wanted to share that story because, like I said, it's been a crazy week when it comes to brand. And I'm not saying like all brands are like that, but there are times where that may happen. And for me personally, I would rather stick with who I am as a person versus continuing doing free work or expecting a brand to always want something free, because a lot of these companies out here, they will come after you and wanting a lot of free work and not really expecting or respecting the value that you have to bring.
All right, there's two things I want to say real quick. So number one, like, I think it's easy to fall into that trap when you're a small creator of, oh my God, a brand wants to send me something, so I'm going to take it. But let me start putting putting this stuff in perspective to y'all. So you get a headphone company that says, hey, oh, we love your content, right? It's the same email that they send in everybody else, but we've checked out your content and we absolutely love it. We want to send you a pair of $60 headphones for you to do an entire freaking video on. So let's monetize this video that you have to make for this brand. That means you have to use your equipment that you paid for. You have to then invest your time filming. You have to invest your time editing. You're giving them access to your audience, all in exchange for a freaking pair of headphones. So the reason I'm saying that is to tell you to understand your value. People, these companies will try to milk all of your time, and they will try to take advantage of the fact that you are a new YouTuber or small YouTuber. Where is CJ at, man? Where did he go? Where is CJ at?
Pop in the hashtag.
Yeah. But the second thing is I actually wanted to share a story from CJ. So, you know, we talk about brand deals amongst our group, right? And there was this one company that hit CJ up. The company shall remain nameless because we ain't about that on this channel. Yep. But CJ basically said, boom, this is my requirement XYZ. They come back and say, nah, player, that's not what you gonna do. CJ said, nah, player, this is what I'm gonna do. And now because y'all came back at me sideways, this is what I'm gonna do plus more. And then the brand gave in. So the reason why I'm saying that is because don't be afraid to negotiate with brands because they will try to basically push you around if you don't want to. The last thing I want to say, y'all know once I get going, I'm like a freight train. Sometimes, like me, CJ, and Devin usually agree, but Devin, I'm gonna call your bluff on this one.
All right.
I'm gonna call your bluff on this one.
All right, talk to me.
Okay, so I used to be a wedding filmmaker, and studies have shown this, right? If you give a couple a discounted rate, and then the next time you go to work with them, you try to charge them a full rate, they will actually go to somebody else and pay them a full rate instead of you. So while I'm not against, you know, sometimes you do have to offer free work to get a deal or relationship you really, really want. I'm going to say do that at your discretion because it can also come back to bite you if you don't do it the right way.
Yep.
And I think that's a good example of what you kind of just showed it where, you know, he did a free video and now when he went to go give them their rates, now they want to try to push them around. So, you know, use that tool at your discretion. Don't always just throw out, you know, I'll give you a free video, a free discounted rate if you're trying to build a relationship.
Yep. I'd agree to that.
All right, so I'm done with that subject, you know, before we turn this next corner, in case y'all want to say something else. It smells like chicken in here. I don't know why.
that boy Terry
always
chicken.
eat chicken over there.
Hold up.
Yo, RP3 Tech says CJ got a plate in the microwave.
They asking about my poking. I'm the only one in here that ain't.
I just said, I was typing my reply.
Oh, y'all want me to put the Boko on?
I had to blast him in the chat.
Put the Boko on.
Oh, we going Boca Life or whatever in this joint? Hold up.
Hey, this Boca look like live focus on the Samsung Galaxy Note 6. It looked garbage.
You talking about the front or the rear?
Nah, they was on it. They said it was fire, Terry. Look. Oh.
Hey, and listen, I'm the only one without a cam link, so y'all over there using y'all DSLRs to stream and everything, and I'm the one getting the P's.
That's a fact. That's a fact, though. He getting the love. And that goes to show, man, sometimes, hey, the gear don't matter sometimes, player. That's a big fact. Terry got the lighting, though. Oh, go ahead. What do you say?
So Iconic Mind said, speaking of rates, not asking for your rates, what's a good baseline for newer creators, a starting point, if you will?
Oh, why you
$1 million. Get the paper, player.
Hey, Iconic Minds, go for it, baby. If you feel like you worth 10,000, my guy, go for it.
I don't know.
I mean, that's a tough question, man. Because honestly, man, it really depends on what you value your worth is. So that's really hard to put a number on that, man.
My lighting is trash, y'all. I don't. It's too bright to turn it up, man. I gotta keep this thing low. Look, man. They was
I
talking.
was over there setting moods.
Hey man, I'm sorry y'all, man. You know my lighting is trash. I ain't pull out the 120D today. I'm sorry. I got the Andy. Matter of fact, let me talk about this. I got this Andy Cine light right here.
Go ahead, drop that affiliate
Nah, I
link,
just
bro.
had to plug it. Nah, I don't have no affiliate. I just had to say something. Hey, look, I said something on the stream, all right? Now I'm playing.
That's a brand deal. That's a
brand deal.
No, but
tough.
iconic, man, that's a tough one, man, because like I said, it all depends on what you feel your own value is and what's your worth.
Social
If
Blue
you
Book.
if you feel like
Somebody's
you-
asking about the Social Blue Book too.
Social
Should
Blue
they
Book, yeah.
should they use that?
I mean,
Hold on,
I
let's
don't
answer
look
the
at
question
social.
first, and then let's-
Yeah, I'll answer the question because we can get on Social Blue Book too. But I kind of mind, man, based on that, man, honestly, I just feel like if you feel like the value of what you can bring is worth 10,000, or if it's worth 5,000, or if it's worth 1,000.
Damn. Hey, hold up, player. Man, hey, look, y'all about to get them laughed out the room. Nah, hey, we ain't even asking that much, yo.
No, that's what I'm saying. But here's the thing: is I don't know. I don't know as far as like, maybe you have done this before, or maybe you have a career in film in itself, and you may, say you've been doing this for over 15 plus years. Like your level of experience may be different than my level of experience. So whereas I've only really been dealing with cameras and stuff for just a little over 2 years now. So I'm not at a point where I can feel like I can ask for the 10 and the 15 and the $20,000 deals or the 50,000. I'm not there yet. But if you feel that you are, then I always say shoot for the stars too, because keep in mind these companies got the budgets.
Hell yeah, they got
Do they want to actually spend those budgets? No, everything is, it's the same thing as far as you in the stock market. You buy low, sell high. So it's the exact same thing. If they're going to try to get, they're going to try to get that labor for cheap. But if you feel that your craft is worth, X amount of dollars, then don't be afraid to ask for that either. But
I was gonna say, I think that, also you guys need to build your portfolio, like kind of like what Terry was saying about jumping into early. Like, you running up to a brand, like have something to show them, like
Sure.
do some videos, like, and even for yourself for comfort, because once you start taking these brand deals, it's a different type of relationship. It's like it becomes stressful. You worried about performance of the video. You worried about, is it going, you know what I mean, the numbers. Like that's the worst feeling. That's why I don't do a lot of brand deals in the first place, because it kind of throws off the vibe sometimes. You got to figure out a way to, like, so I say, man, build up your portfolio before y'all go out there trying to get the bag, because once you put the bag in the relationship, it changes the dynamic. Trust me.
Yep.
All right, so I want to throw mine in there. Matt G just said something. It's cheaper to pay for an audience than to create content for their own social media themselves. Straight facts. That's why a lot of these companies reach out to us, because they're essentially getting a whole production suite and one person plus access to an audience. So I will throw in my experience that I've been using as of lately to pitch at brands, because I struggled with the same thing for a while on how much am I worth. So like I said, I used to do wedding film and photography, and I had a real big problem with my pricing until I actually sat down and made a structure and determined my worth. So I'll give you an example. I determined that for all of my services, whether it's editing, whether it's filming, whether it's travel, anything like that, that my hourly rate, me counting in the amount of the gear that I use, etc., is $100 per hour. I still use the same model when it comes to me, and I wanted to throw this out there because a lot of people ask, like, how should I charge? And I'm not saying that this is the model you should use. I'm telling you what I do. But once I kind of figured out and I wrote down everything that I offer, my rate is $100 an hour. So when I approach, or like when a video client hits me up, I just had to do one yesterday, and they asked me what's the price, I asked them, yo, what are you trying to accomplish with this project? And then you trust me as your expert. This is how long it's going to take for me to get there. This is how long it's going to take for me to film it. This is my projected range of how many hours it will take me to edit it. And I add a little bit more, obviously, because you should always inflate it to give to give room for negotiation. But that's how I price. Mine is an hourly rate. It's $100 an hour. Let's talk about the project. Take it from there. Could you use that same model for brands? Sure, you could. Like I said, I'm not saying that that's what you should do, but that's one way that you could potentially come up with some type of structure if you're having difficulty finding structure.
Hey, Crazy Rodzilla, Roberto been in here dropping jewels, and Crazy Rodzilla dropped a question. He said, how honest do you feel you have to be when you have brand deals and partnerships? Are you 100% honest, or do you hold back a little not to mess up that deal relationship?
Ooh. Okay, then. All right.
Oh, hey, that's a
good one.
very, very good question.
Who want to go first?
Not everybody speak at once.
All right, I'll go first. All right, so
I go first. Oh, well, go ahead.
no. So I guess it like what do you mean? How honest should you be? Like, I think that's a loaded question. Do you mean like um? I mean, I guess I don't really know how to interpret that. If you mean like how honest should I be? Like, should I tell them I have X amount of followers? Should I tell them, this is how many views I get X Y Z? Um,
I think he's talking about how honest are you to your audience.
right. So yeah, I think that's also a good question. So I don't know. My approach, if somebody reaches out to me, I'm gonna give I'm just talking about facts. All right, like in negotiation, you need to spell out what it is that you're trying to do or that you're gonna do, so that there's no gray area. You know what I'm saying? So for me personally, if a place hit me up and say this is our product, we want you to do an X Y Z on it, I will state facts in it, but I'm not talking about opinion. So that's just me. Now, if it's a video that I'm doing just because I want to do it, I'm telling you all the opinions and with all that stuff like that. So I think it's important, I think more than anything, to go back to the ground level when you're working out a brand deal, to to figure out what it is that you expect and that they expect. I think that's the most important thing when it comes to should you be honest or not. If you put it out there in the beginning of your brand, like, okay, you're paying me to give my honest opinion, and even if my opinion is horrible or I say your product is trash, I still get paid, then as long as you got that on paper, then there's nothing they could do about it. But I do think it's important to put those details in your contract or your negotiations before you do it.
Also, like, if you're taking money, I don't know if you should be doing a review per se, unless it's like Terry say but like, I think if you're doing money, you go into overview mode, and you can be honest in that right too. You don't have to sugarcoat anything. Like, it's okay. Listen, you guys, it's okay to give constructive criticism. It's just how you deliver it. That's what matters. It's how you say it. It's not, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, if you come back and say this company XYZ sent me this garbage pair of headphones, the company is garbage XYZ, then yeah, but it's also a way you can be tasteful about going about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I feel like that is going back to, you need to determine with the brand you're working with what you're actually doing. Is it a review? Is it an honest review? Okay, all right, well, I'm not comfortable doing that. You're not gonna basically tell me what I can't say. Maybe I'll just do a video going over some of the key points of it, or maybe my favorite features of it. So that's all stuff that, like, the world is yours. You just need to define that in your deal.
And also think about this. I just want to do this quick little note.
Oh, yeah.
You might want to be a negative Nancy and XYZ and go off. There's other brands watching too. And then you just scared off the brand you wanted to work with because you just trying to be too pessimistic and too, you're trying to get the likes and the hits on the drama. But then now you wonder why ain't nobody answering your call or your DMs. They saw you, player. Like, you got to be smart, man. Like, you can be constructive, you can be professional. Like my boy El Jefe say, be professional because everybody watching.
I will tell you this. There's a brand, there's an agent that I work with, right? They told me, basically, we see everything you post. We may not acknowledge it. We may not comment on it. Where's Devin? Hashtag. Why it's always you or Devin disappearing. But, yeah, like, don't think that companies are not watching, especially when you start making a name for yourself. I'm not saying sacrifice your authenticity, but if you're being, like, for real about this as a side hustle or a main hustle or a money maker, you wouldn't go into your job MFing and swearing up and down, the walkways. So you got to be mindful of the same thing when it comes to working with brands. Be careful of what you might say online because you never know what brand is watching, and they do watch all of them.
Yep. I think if you're taking money, man, I just think it does it does get to a point. It does get to like a weird place, right? Like if we're just gonna be honest, like it gets to that weird place. But I think this is why I was saying earlier, before I take deals, I also like to talk to the people. I want to talk to the reps. I want to talk to the company to get a feel for, number one, them as a person. I want to get a feel for the company. I want to get a feel for what their expectations are. And then on top of that, once I get the product in hand, most of the time, let's just be honest, a company, when they're paying for something like a brand deal or something like that, they don't want a negative light being shined on their product. So there's a lot of different things and factors of that. But I do make sure that I tell them that, is it okay for me to still provide some type of constructive feedback? Now, like CJ was saying, is like you can go into it providing different feedback for them, but there's just a way of how you go about doing it. Like you just can't go in there and just be like, oh man, this pair of headphones is trash. The audio is terrible. I would never wear these ever again. You just can't do that. But what you can do is say, man, I wish for the version 2.0 or whatever that they would add this feature, or that they could do this. Add some type of value to, whereas you're now helping that brand create that next iteration of that next product. So that way they're going to see you as value. And then let's say the comments start rolling in and they're saying, people are agreeing with what you're saying. Like, oh, okay, yeah, I picked these up, based off your recommendation. Yeah, these are great headphones, but I'm with you on, I wish they would add blah, blah, blah. So now when that brand X comes back to you, they're going to want to send you that pair again and probably work with you again, because now your audience know that you've built a relationship with that brand and that you were honest with them when they bought it. So now when they go and buy the second iteration, they're now trusting you even more because you were honest and straightforward on the first one without being negative towards that brand. So there's just a way of how you do it, but I still think you can be honest with the brand and be honest about a product to your audience without being negative too, if that makes sense.
And I guess like I understand the question a little bit more. So like, should you tell your audience that, yo, I got paid for this or XYZ? Me personally, man, if I'm watching a video, I don't really care if you got paid for it or not, because you could be a liar with or without the payment. So
right,
like, it don't really make me a difference. If I'm watching a video, I can kind of detect if you're trustworthy or not, or at least I think I can. So while I do think I understand maybe not everybody has that same, I guess, level of confidence for other people. I do think you should disclose if you got paid, but I don't think it should be a big deal as people make it. Like sometimes you see in comments like, oh my God, you got paid. This is a biased review of XYZ. Maybe I just think the damn thing is good, whether I got paid for it or not. So, I think that's a touchy subject.
I know you can't be positive. Hey, look, player, yeah. I like tech. It's like the Justine effect. Like she gets excited about tech and people criticize her for it. It's like people don't like seeing people happy anyway. Like I smile a lot.
Exactly.
Like and people be like, "Why are you smiling?" I'm like, "All right, that's an odd question to ask. Well, why would anybody say that?"
Happy.
Like I know, right?
Why are you frowning?
So it's just like when you positive, like people think it's like you can't be positive. Like everybody just like wants you to be. I don't know, man. Yeah, it's crazy. That's crazy.
You don't go to a car dealer and question them. You know what I'm saying? Like obviously they're getting paid. Exactly. And they could still be lying whether or not they close the deal or not. So I don't really care if somebody got paid or not. And on top of that, thank you, sir. Thank you, El Jefe. And on top of that, personally, it ain't my business whether you got paid or not. We kind of discussed this a few weeks ago. I don't care if you making money off of this or not. If anything, like Roberto said, I would assume you are making money off of it, and I'm happy for you. Go get the bag.
Yep, I agree. I don't know, man. Like all in all, man, that's a touchy one. But I mean, like I said, if it all depends on how you want to run your brand too. Like if you want to run it a certain way, then you could do that. But I would say just be mindful of the impacts that it could have based on that review with other brands and other people that may want to work with you. Because at the same time, it's not even just brands that may want to work with you based off of how you do a video. It could be other creators that may want to work with you and different things like that. So, you just have to be mindful of, the energy you want to put out there. If you want to be that creator that's just putting out negative energy all the time, then that's okay too, if that's what you want to run. But, it just all depends on what you want to put out there.
Yeah, and you like you got to remember that a lot of times when you get brand deals, it's because those brands have seen something that you already did. So if
Yep.
you're only making videos that are, I hate this or I hate that, don't be surprised if ain't nobody hitting you up, because if you got a trend where you only talking negative about brands, why would you expect any other brand to want to take part in that?
Right.
So I think it all circles back to make sure, during your introduction or whatever, you spell out what they're getting so that there's no gray area, and you get a clear understanding of what they want so that there's no gray area. That way, if they want something where you're allowed to state your opinion and they're okay with paying you for that, and they understand that, yo, this might be negative, then that's fine. But that needs to be spelled out in black and white. If, oh,
Hey, iconic with the paper.
uh,
Appreciate you.
he said, if you feel that negatively about it, I'd rather you not make the video. Which, that's a fair statement. If a brand tell me that and they would rather me not make the video, that's a CJ muted. Oh, Roberto just touched on
My
something
bad. My
so
bad. Yeah, I know. I see what Roberto just talked about. Yeah, we was talking about that too.
yeah, but so there are channels out there whose bread and butter are basically negativity. And this is not to throw a shot at nobody. I personally don't give a crap about how you choose to run your channel. However, if you are building a
I'm
brand up,
back.
CJ is back, man.
DJ is back.
My bad, y'all. Hey, Joan,
If
I don't
you-
got no mason jar today. I'm trying to cover. I gotta cover up the brand though. But yeah, we sipping out the can.
They got to pay for that advertisement, yo. They got to pay for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like if you want to start a channel where you're discussing controversy or maybe other creators or maybe brands you don't like in XYZ, yes, you can come up very, very fast, but eventually you will end up shooting yourself in the foot. It happens every single time. So before you think about taking that cheapskate route, cheapskate is the wrong word. I'm sorry. I don't want to
It's a
offend you.
cheat code. Say cheat code.
Yep.
Yeah. Obviously, everybody knows people love drama,
Negative
and people love drama. But it gets to a point where it's called the point of diminishing returns. Eventually, that gun will turn on you. So just be mindful if you're doing that.
And at that moment, you try to turn positive,
Yeah.
your audience is not going to respond to it because that's not why they came there in the first place.
Exactly.
So you got to keep that. You got to keep that in mind.
Got to keep that same energy, and at that point, you've already built negative energy, and you know what comes with negative energy. More negative energy, right? That's why if you go on some of these people's like some of these people's videos that have these controversy channels, whether it be about pigs or bacon or tech or whatever it is, look through the comment section. Look through the comment section. You will not see no positive comments in there because they attracted a negative audience, and their negative audience is interacting with the negative creator. I'm gonna shut up now because I don't want to, I don't want no subtweets or be getting accused and nothing like that. Terry was on the stream talking about X, Y, Z. Yeah. You know how y'all like to do. I'm not, whatever.
Product was absolute trash, but I didn't trash it. So Iconic Mind says the product was absolute trash, but I didn't trash it. I just gave it facts about the product and let the viewers make their own decision. Iconic Minds, I see a lot of people actually doing that too. Like, to where you can give your opinion about something. Oh man, the channel done went haywire. Oh,
What
Twitter.
is going on?
CJ, what's happening, bro?
Oh, the lights that got turned off.
There we go.
All
right, we back.
The lights got cut off.
Hey,
Somebody
that was
pay the
my
light
fault.
bill.
Hey, look. Hey, I want to.
yeah, man,
wait.
that's
I
another
want to
thing you
give
can
a
do,
piece of
Iconic
advice.
Minds. Like,
real
you
quick.
can
Oh,
give
they don't know.
your opinion on some, or you can give an overview and then just basically ask your audience, like, what do they feel about it? Like, do they feel like the features that you outlined or the features that you laid out in that video, is it something that they would use, or how would they use it? Or do they think that this is a useful product, for their everyday life or whatever, and let them make the decision on that. And that way, if you want it, you can play that neutral side if you want to do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
Hey, I had a word of advice I wanted to give to everybody that's kind of, we talk about this negative channel or positive. Hey, look, the number one thing is, for real, if y'all want to do this and y'all want to be successful and you want to have longevity and you want to be able to look yourself in the mirror, is to be you. Be who you really are. Don't put on this crazy persona for views or growth.
Yep.
Don't try to because you're gonna hate it at the end of the day, because now you're gonna be paint yourself in a corner of somebody who you really aren't. Be yourself. And if you can't, and look, there's ways to make who you are more entertaining, more engaging. That's what you work on. Do not fall for all this nonsense. Do not create these crazy personas. You will regret it in the long run. Trust me.
That is an absolute fact. And I'm going to go ahead and drop listen, CJ, that was so fire. Somebody need to add a sound effect or something, because that was crazy.
Yo, drop one of Clues.
I need a fire. Hey, I need Travis. Travis, I need your sound effect lineup, player.
Listen. So drop one of Clues bombs on them.
You know what I'm saying?
Matt G said, if you don't like the product, doesn't mean you can't recommend it to a particular buyer and or share your improvements, like Devin said, especially to a smaller company. So I do want to say, I don't know, big shout out to Andrew Edwards, man. If y'all don't know who Andrew Edwards is, he is one of the most successful tech YouTubers in the game. And super low key, but if you watch Andrew's videos, he does not give his opinion. He only states facts, and he leaves it up to the viewer to decide whether they think it's junk or not. I think that is the safest route to go when it comes to products and longevity. Now, that's not to try to discourage you from keeping it real on your channel, because my channel, I keep it real about stuff. But I'm also if I think it's junk, I don't want to make a video about it. So if I think something is junk, I'm not inclined to tell people yo, this is junk. I only create videos about stuff that I'm genuinely excited about. So just think about that, man. A lot of Andrew Edwards is very successful in what he does, and he does not give opinions at all unless he's excited.
Hey, I like what Matt said, because you might not like the product, but someone else will. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I think people really this gets all in the ego, y'all. You think your review.
Oh, you gonna go there?
I gotta go there, bro, because this is what it really is. Some reviewers have an ego about that their opinion is the law. What I think about this product rules what this product is. It's not that, yo. You could be absolutely wrong. That's why I try to be optimistic when I present anything, because you knocking down something that didn't work for you or you didn't know how to use, but the next person may know how to maximize the value out of that product. Chill, relax, put your ego in check, reviewers. For real.
The other thing I want to touch on, kind of to add to that, is keep in mind that your reviews is touching more than just creators in the tech space. I think a lot of times creators in the tech space, we get caught up into, I'm making my reviews for other creators in the tech space. You're making your reviews for people that are exactly. You're making your reviews for people who don't know about that piece of technology or whatever. So, because like CJ was saying, within the tech community, man, there's a lot of technology snobs that's out there, man.
Facts.
It's just keep in mind, man, when you're making your content, don't worry about the actual tech community itself. You're making your videos for that viewer that don't know about that product, that want to learn more about that product. As basic as it may seem to you, that person don't know about that product, or they don't know about that feature or how to use it. So keep that in mind. So don't ever think that your review is too basic or is basic or whatever. Just think that you're always making that content for that viewer that don't know, and not for the tech community.
Ain't it crazy how we have turned from a society, before we turn this last corner, right? I just want to throw out there how I think it's nuts how 10 years ago our society was totally different, right? When we're interested in a product, the first thing we do is what? YouTube.
Go on YouTube.
We don't go on Amazon no more. We don't do nothing. The number one resource that we have when it comes to learning about a new product or anything like that, to me, is just crazy that we have like YouTube and all of this information. But I digress. Let me shut up. Okay.
And to touch on that, one thing I do want to talk about is adding value real quick is I want to talk about something, man, that all three of us received when we were in New York, man. That was something that I feel like is value that I really want to share to everybody that's out there that's a creator. So one one of the things that we learned about is not putting too much into YouTube in itself. Like
You giving Devin? You giving
is that too much?
Sauce away.
Is that too much?
Wait, what? I missed that. Where was you going,
much
Devin?
sauce?
Hold
No,
up.
I was
Thank you, Have
basically
Faith, for
saying
dropping
that,
our
like,
channels in there.
Yeah, appreciate you. I was basically saying that, like, as a creator, man, don't put too much sauce into or too much into YouTube in itself. Now, we all know YouTube is one of the larger platforms. It is the larger platform that's out there. But like, and I think Terry had posted it earlier, is that a view is a view no matter what platform it comes from.
That's fact.
That is something that I'm personally learning or experiencing at the moment. Is it doesn't matter what platform it come from. It can come from Instagram. That view can come from Twitter. That view can come from Facebook. It can come from Snapchat, TikTok. I know my guy Travis. He's crushing it on TikTok right now. So
okay, so let's talk about it then. Let's talk about it.
You, Matt.
Yeah, we gonna touch on this real quick, and then we gonna start wrapping it up because we over a little long.
Next week. Okay, all right, Matt.
But that's a good. Yeah. So to touch on what Devin was saying, you know what? Let's put it out there. Andrew. Well, we met up with Andrew Edwards and Kevin.
That might be his talk, player. Hold up, man, because you know he's talking to Vince something about this. Don't give too much away. Come on, man.
Shut up. But basically, and Roberto said, then we talk about that at 368. Like, we've all talked about this in numerous amount of times. But all I'm going to say,
that on video, y'all. Hustle to Create coming soon. I got all that in the cut.
But not to spoil anybody else's meat and potatoes, but just leverage. If y'all can hear my daughter screaming like somebody's trying to murder her. But just use, like, we have all of these different social platforms. Use them. Don't get so wrapped up on YouTube thinking that YouTube is the end all be all because it's the one you make money on, right? Use all of your platforms because there's people that aren't on YouTube who are on Instagram. There's people who aren't on Instagram that are on Twitter and, you know, so on and so forth. So utilize all of your platforms. I'm just going to leave it at that.
And Instagram is powerful.
It is.
Very powerful. So you can actually reach out to a lot of brands through. I know I've built relationships from companies just based off of my interaction with brands over on Instagram. So keep that in mind as well.
That's a good point because a lot of y'all say like I reached out to so-and-so and they didn't reach back. Do you understand how easy it is to get a brand's attention on Twitter? Let me give you instruction. Go on their page, like 5 posts, drop a comment. Whoever's running that account is going to be interested in who is this person on my page dropping all of this heat and all these likes. And then guess what they do after that? They go check out who you are. So don't think that you can't get a brand's attention just because you might have DM'd them and they didn't respond or anything like that. The last tip I want to drop before I shut up, right? CJ kind of touched on this earlier. When you reach out to these brands, don't just send a message on Instagram. Find them on Twitter. See if they have a website. Find their email addresses on their website. Send that pitch to all of them because you never know, you know, if it's going to end up in the right hands from Instagram. Like CJ said, they could be using somebody completely unrelated to run their Instagram than their actual influencer marketing department. So just make sure that you don't just, you know, if you hit them up in one avenue, don't stop there. Find an email address, find a phone number, like Devin say, call them up, have a conversation, and then I'm going to shut up. I'm gonna shut up now.
Roberto just dropped the biggest jewel. He said, stop being so damn loyal to these platforms. The platforms aren't loyal. The algorithm doesn't care if you're monogamous, and that's 100% fact. You know what I mean? We always putting in all this effort and all this stress over the algorithms. When, hey, man, just give it up everywhere.
The hell with the algorithm. I'm going to throw that out there. I'm so sick of that.
Iconic Mods said LinkedIn is real, too. And Roberto responded
100%. Someone just dropped. That's a jewel right there, player.
That is a jewel right there. That's one we was going to keep in the pocket, y'all.
I be on there, Roberto, probably not as much as I should be, but I'm starting to start coming
I release my videos. I release my videos on LinkedIn. Like I upload them. Because you'll be surprised. Right, because you can actually tag those brands out there on LinkedIn as well, and that is actually going directly to those PR people. So
you ain't give it away, Iconic. That's what Creator Cafe is all about. Look, You know what I mean? You ain't.
Nah, you ain't giving it away, Iconic. That's
Nah,
hey, that's a
what
jewel,
we here
man.
for, man. Like
Nah.
for real. Look now, Roberto giving it away. LinkedIn is how you find the PR companies. There you go.
Chill. I got
There
one
you
more
go.
too. Since we all in this giving mood, right?
Ooh,
Since
y'all getting blessed tonight, yo. Hey.
I got another jewel for y'all, right?
Uh-oh,
If
Terry
you
about to drop
don't
the
know
sauce.
about, if you don't know about Reddit, you need to find out about Reddit. You want to
That's
talk
another
about
one, too.
access to concentrated audiences
Man,
that
it is
will
so
love
hard
what
to
you
get to
post.
Reddit, though.
Now, I
It's
mean,
so-
you gotta be able to deal with trolls because they are everywhere on there. But Reddit is one of the biggest peer-to-peer forum-based websites out there. There are times where I've pulled up analytics from a video on videos that have taken off for me and been like, where did this traffic come from? And it wasn't YouTube, it wasn't Facebook. You know where it was from? Reddit. It was from Reddit. And not even me posting on Reddit. Sometimes Reddit has bots that go find dope videos and it posts them to certain subs without you even knowing. Because I've logged into Reddit to see, you can see like where your videos have been shared at. Like there have been Reddit subs that have my video posted, comments and stuff like that, and I had no clue of it. So don't be scared to use Reddit. Just put your flame suit on because them boys on Reddit, they the real deal. They will have you, they will hurt your feelings on there. So just be mindful of that.
And Crazy Rozilla was asking, do we post our entire video on Facebook fan page? I know it's a lot of creators do, and that's a part of what we're talking about, like giving up the content on all platforms because you never know. Like somebody might be strictly on the Facebook and they don't come to YouTube. Somebody might be strictly on IG and they don't come to YouTube. Like you got to go where the people are, and the people are everywhere. So you got to be everywhere.
Yeah, they actually have a Reddit for creators. I don't recommend using that because, like, your traffic is not coming from majority other creators. We're a very small, very, very small segment of people. The majority of people are not creators. So, like, if you do go to the Reddit sub where it's like it's something creator, right? It's literally nothing but people spamming links back and forth. It's not like it doesn't produce any type of engagement whatsoever. Find the sub that's relevant to whatever product you are making. Read the sub rules before you do it. Oh, hey, wife, what you doing? Trying to make an appearance. I see you.
Hey,
he got that blur on though.
That bokeh.
That bokeh. But yeah, find a sub that's relevant to whatever it is you're doing. If you don't know how to do that, just type in whatever it is and type in Reddit in Google search. It'll point you right to it. Read the sub rules because if you drop a link in there, a lot of times if you don't have a certain number of posts or anything like that, they will just automatically remove your post. You know what I'm saying? So make sure you do your homework first. But Reddit is a huge outlet. And I do encourage you, like Roberto said, use external sources, man. Those external sources drive traffic and drive engagement to YouTube. And I'm actually learning that as I kind of go along. So, all right, man. Yeah, I'm going to shut up. We giving too much sauce tonight. Too much sauce.
Player.
It's too much sauce.
Hey man, that's what it's all about.
It is.
Creator Cafe starting to show what it's really about. Like this is really what this stream is all about. It's just about sharing information. This is for creators to come talk about creator stuff and help each other become better creators and just share. Like this is what we do weekly, but we bring it in here. We don't even meet no more personally. We just come here and do it. Like it's crazy.
Yep.
But so since we are like turning the last corner, somebody dropped the donation link.
Hold on real quick. Iconic Mods, yes. He asked Roberto Blake, is IGTV worth investing time into? Yes.
Everywhere.
With the feature that you can actually post a snippet of it on your actual page, and then it directs the rest of it to your actual your IGTV, that is a jewel because I know for myself, I get some traffic on, from videos that may be old videos that I'll repost on IGTV. And now I just learned actually in New York that IGTV now actually accept horizontal videos now. So you can literally repost those same videos or older videos and help drive traffic that way to a completely different platform. Because again, like I said, Instagram is powerful, man. One of the things that I know I can say, like, I've learned just from talking with Roberto, man, like he talked about it with it's like IGTV is extremely, extremely powerful, man. Like you can really do some damage on there. So
Versatile asks, have you guys thought about putting together a template for brand deals and partners? Hey, but look, I'm gonna tell you something, player. Hey, Devin got one of the coldest ones, but I'm pretty sure he ain't ready to get that up. He gonna put that behind a paywall.
I might get out of the way one of these days.
Don't
but
give
right
it away.
now,
No, it's
right now, let me eat off of that for a little bit before I get that out.
Wait, what are you talking about? $20 to $50, player? Your rate should never be. Hey, look, Versatile. Don't you be out here doing nothing for $20 or $50. Right. I'm gonna just give you that tip. Don't sell yourself that short. Sell yourself that short. I mean, I don't know. I ain't never did stuff for IG on page, you know. But 20 and 50, that just sound a little low.
Yeah. But I mean, you got.
Wait, that's
20
20 cents, 50 cents.
It depends.
He said 20
what we talked about earlier, though, because he may
20 cents to 50 cents.
He may be at a point though where he feel like his level of creating as far as
that's a 20 cent player. 20 cent. Nah, player. What you talking about? Change?
You said 20 cent?
You taking change online, player? We can't take no change.
Wait. We gotta dial it back. He's talking.
Oh, he said per engagement. Oh, he said per engagement.
Wait. So he's talking about I'm guessing impression, probably not engagement. I don't. I've never
expand on that. No, no 20 cents.
He said per engagement.
20 cents per engagement. I personally don't do stuff based on engagement.
Oh, he's talking about buying ads. That's what Roberto. Roberto said.
I do stuff based on like. Oh, is he talking about buying ads? I'm not sure. Versatile.
I never bought an ad.
A little bit. But I personally do my deals. At least I like to. I like to do them based on the content that I'm actually providing to the brand, not necessarily the views, not necessarily all of that. I'm basing a lot of my stuff on my time. The level of creativity I know I can bring. I know in my mind I have a lot of creative stuff that just pops in. If someone throws a brand at me, I'm instantly like, okay, I got a video idea how I can make this product pop, or how I can do XYZ. And so I charge based on that creativity, not necessarily because they can actually use that video for their own promotional and marketing purposes. So I like to charge based on my time, the usage of my equipment.
Man, y'all getting a lot of jewels.
Is that too much jewels?
No, it ain't too much. Keep blessing them, man. No, I'm just saying.
But yeah, man, like I just like to do it based on that because, I mean, at the end of the day, man, it's your time. Like it's just like you going to work every day, working for someone else. Like they're paying you based on your time. So why not? Why shouldn't you charge a brand or another company for your time, not necessarily the views or the engagement? Now, granted, the views and engagement, that's going to come based on, the trust that you've built with your audience. But for me, I personally, I like to get that bag up front if I can get it. But again, that varies based on certain things because it may be one of those things where it's like I'll do this for you now if you do this for me on the back end, or it all depends on the brand. It depends on the deal or whatever. But I don't like per click or per view type of deals.
Yeah, and a lot of companies they're going away from that anyways because you'll see this a lot. Like brands are really starting to get away from how many likes do you get on the post or how many comment, because you can buy them. You know what I'm saying? You can buy likes and stuff like that. So brands are getting away from that because they don't this is why the whole Instagram removing likes things is super important. And I made a whole video on this because like it's hard for a brand to be able to determine how much engagement you're getting because they don't know if people are buying likes or buying stuff. That's why there's a paid partnership option on Instagram now, where a lot of brands want you to go into a paid partnership with them. And if you don't know what that is on Instagram, if you do paid partnership, that means that you give them access to your analytics so they can see exactly how, what type of analytics you're getting. So a lot of brands ain't going to just pay you money based off of subscriber number and size no more, or follower number and size no more, because they're starting to see that engagement means way more than likes and stuff like that.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, and I said it right. Charge for your creative and the price of the service with your time worked into the equation. Yeah.
And
Yep.
I personally like don't promise likes, don't promise the amount of
Yep. I don't
views,
promise that.
because
Yep.
once you put that in there, if you don't achieve that, then you got a problem on your hands contractually because you didn't keep up your end of the bargain. So
And
when
it
you
raises the stress level
yeah,
for no
it
reason.
raises the stress level. So
Yep.
like you will see like when you're doing a dedicated videos do not perform well. They don't perform well unless it's something popping. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
Yep.
if when you talking to brands, don't promise this is the amount of views I can get. This is the amount of subscribers I can get, because the brand is automatically formulating this idea of how many views they can get out of that. And if you don't meet that, then you got a real life problem on your hand when it comes to the brand. So I
Yep.
just, don't.
And I think another thing, and the other thing I want to add, man, this is another jewel. And I know I mentioned this to Terry and CJ. Like, one of the thing I want to lay on y'all, man, real quick is when you are pitching a brand deal or whatever, when you're trying to, when you're sending that email to a company, I personally do not put how many subscribers I have. I don't put how many likes or engagement stuff. I don't put that. I give them a link. Here, go check out my channel. I want you to visually see my content before you judge me, before you even get to my page.
Yep.
Because I'm gonna tell you now, that's powerful in the terms of you want, just like you want to drive traffic to your videos, when you're pitching to brands, you want to drive traffic from your email to your channel. And the way to do that is for them to not prejudge you based off of however many subscribers you got. I don't put that information in my pitch. I put the link. Here's my channel. Go check it out. I got something here to offer you. Go have them go to your channel and see your content first before they judge you based off of your numbers before they even got into your page. So
Yeah, because
keep that in mind.
you might think your subscriber number is impressive, right? You might
Yep.
think, oh man, I got 10K. But what
Yep.
if that brand is looking for somebody with 50K?
Yep.
Do you effectively just cancel yourself out? So that's
Yep.
one thing that like me, CJ, and Devin have all kind of figured that out. Like subscriber numbers don't matter. It's the value that I can give to you that matters.
Yep. Subscriber numbers only matter to the viewers. It really doesn't matter to creators. No creators that I've met, whether they, large, medium, small, or whatever, all of these creators that I've met or whatever have been fortunate enough to meet so far, whether they're the larger ones or whatever, they're all cool. Like all of them is more of
Facts.
just like nobody's just like, oh, I'm not gonna talk to you because you only got 10K. Oh,
Right.
I'm not gonna talk to you because you got 5K. Like nobody really cares about that. So
Hey, there's another
send them a
discussion on
body
that
of work.
because
Yep.
there's a lot of people who throw blind statements about these quote unquote big YouTubers. There's a lot of people who say XYZ and have never interacted
met
or
'em.
met or whatever. Like, it's been all love. I mean,
All love.
I have yet to come across too much any shenanigans up there. So I think people need to stop separating themselves and putting other people on pedestals. Like I said, before you praise someone else's accolades, make sure that your accolades are in order too. Like make sure you somebody too. Like stop giving so much to someone else. Like you somebody too, and make sure you are somebody that, and then you can go there and sit at the table with them and have a eye-to-eye convo. I'm talking mentally, because
Right.
well, the only thing that makes you looking up is in your mind. It ain't got nothing to do. In reality, you looking eye to eye. So just keep that in your, and
You shouldn't be doing that in any avenue in life.
fact.
Period.
That's a
though.
fact.
Yep.
Like you should be able to look at a homeless man the same way you look in the eyes of a man with $1 million. Like once you comfortable with your value, you can sit at the table with anybody. It don't matter. Like
Exactly.
we've all I'm just speaking from like me, CJ, and Devin. We've all sat at tables with millionaires, dog. And the conversation is still the same. I don't put you on a pedestal because you make more money or because you got started before I did or you accomplished what you wanted to do before me. Like I don't do that. I don't do that with celebrities. I don't do that with people in my life. Yo, you getting the same handshake and the same type of representation from me that from a poor man to a rich man to from 1 sub to 10 million subs. I don't care about none of that stuff.
Yep.
I'm not about to
Also,
put you on a pedestal.
think about it. Look who you sitting next to. There's value to you and who you are as well. Like my boy Eric Thomas said, like when he was in a room with, they invited him to a room with billionaires. He had to figure out where was he worth $1 billion in that room, because it was a reason why he was in that room with those people.
right.
Like he's worth $1 billion. He just had to figure out what about him was worth $1 billion. And it's the same with you guys. Like man, I'm telling you, man, there's value to who you are. And always have that confidence. Always believe in yourself. Always hold, you know what I mean? Like, love yourself, like, in a real way. So that way you can, like, you know, stand on your confidence and stand on your truth and not, you know, stop holding yourself down or anything like that. I'm just sending out positive vibes to my people out there, my other creators. You know what I mean?
The other thing is, like, people who are in that quote unquote upper echelon. Let's use Roberto Blake for an example. Like, Roberto is cool, dude. Yeah, if y'all don't know Roberto, like, he's built an entire empire, right? Do you think that Roberto is looking at another man like, I wonder how much money he makes? They don't care about that stuff. So while people are fantasizing and romanticizing people for being larger, those same people don't care about none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? When you are talking to people like that, they're trying to find out who the most genuine people in the room are, not the person that's trying to get something from them. So that's why, like, it's always important. Keep your integrity. You know what I'm saying? Don't sacrifice your integrity to somebody else because they have more money than you. At the end of the day, like Iconic said, we all drop the same deuce at the end of the day. So just keep that in mind. But look, we at 9:30, man. Listen, y'all.
Terry gotta go cook his chicken.
Man, I gotta cook chicken. I gotta make coffee. But hey, one of y'all drop the link for anybody that would like to donate to the stream. We appreciate. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say they know the tradition, man. Start dropping y'all questions for next week. Start dropping y'all topics now.
Start dropping them questions.
Yeah. So
let us know what y'all want to talk about.
We if this creators in this room, man, we get our topics a lot of times from, I mean, obviously stuff that we talk about, but we also consider what other creators may want to know. So drop a question. Don't think it's too stupid or too small. That's what this is all about, man. I wish when I first got started on YouTube that I had a resource to experienced creators who could give me information on a relatable, real level. So that's what we're trying to give to y'all. And that's not to say that we think we the bee's knees or whatever, but we know we all have experience. We all know how to create dope content. We all have at least somewhat understanding of the YouTube and how the game works. And we're still learning too. So we're still learning. We're trying to teach people. So drop them questions, man. Drop them questions.
We ain't got all the answers, but we'll share what we got. So
I know what we do have. We got undershirts on deck.
Hey, I'm rocking a blue shirt today, baby.
I know you got an undershirt under there, Devin.
Nah, man. I told you when I'm inside, man. Hey, when I'm inside in controlled temperature environments, brother. Hey, we only gotta wear one shirt on the inside.
Man, and CJ done went balls to the wall with the beater.
Man, CJ with the tank top with his muscle.
Like he about to be next Friday.
We got two people on the stream now with muscle shirts.
Hey, man, I'm from the West Coast, man. This humidity in the Midwest is something else, player. I can't. Anyway.
Yo, Iconic Maj, he said this hands down my favorite content to consume / be a part of every week. Yo, we appreciate that, Iconic. Like, really means a lot, man.
Yeah, we're also doing. We got a few things cooking to make this to give even more value in this. So stay tuned. We got a lot of stuff that we're working.
Stacey Morgan, we gonna definitely get to know each other in the future, player.
Yep.
Yeah,
we definitely gonna do that. Yep.
So like I said, if anybody got questions, drop them now. Creator questions.
So Versatile, when you say what about demographic emphasis, expand on that. Like, what do you mean by that?
Oh, RPS brand changes from minor name change to major. That's a good one because I know Joan was. I saw 10,000 messages.
We got you, RP3.
That's a good one.
Devin, make sure you screen.
I got
questions. All right, my G.
I got it.
But yeah, mate.
Every week for a reason, sizes and value.
Facts.
Sir, Roberto.
But yeah, I think RP3. That's a great question. And when pitching the companies, should that be part of the pitch?
Demographic. I've never, unless they ask, I've never really put demographic.
Should that be? Actually, hold on. I do want to talk on that. Versatile, yes. We're going to talk about that more next week, but yes, to some extent, it does matter. It depends on, I literally just did a deal not too long ago where they did ask about my demographic, but it was an Instagram deal. So yeah, that does matter. But we'll touch on that next week for sure.
Yeah, I don't think demographics, because you got to think from a company perspective. They want to know what type of audience they get access to. So I do think it matters. However, I don't think I would bring it up unless it was asked for.
Exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't bring it up until it's
Yeah,
asked.
but we could definitely talk about that more on next week's stream. So yeah, that's
At what point did you determine the crew or resources you wanted to utilize as creators?
Devin. What you reading?
Tech King Mike,
Where he at?
he in the chat. Shout out to Tech King.
Oh, I see it. Obviously, I got some lag going on over here. Crew or resources, mate, you wanted to utilize. Well,
Joan, yes, it did lead to some serious engagement.
yeah, Joan, you had my phone blowing up.
Yeah, my phone, my battery died.
And I was
the iPhone battery only lasts 2 hours. So
right, I couldn't even I'm just now kind of seeing it because I've been kind of like not on Twitter heavy the last few days, but I'm just now seeing that. But yeah, Mike been in here lurking. Like, oh, peeping Tom. This how Mike been looking the whole time. But I think
exorbitant. Appreciate you, man. Like,
yeah,
if you know alignment, you can really lead with that strong punch before they ask. Okay,
that's a different perspective. Yeah, I can see that too. Man, we got like if y'all wanna like know more about like the whole creator life and like getting into the nitty gritty, man, y'all make sure y'all check out Roberto's page, his Creator Academy. Like, bro has all of the information that you need to make money on YouTube. And even if you start from scratch, man, I really honestly feel like, and this is no cap, Roberto is the most important influence in the creator space, period, on YouTube. So
before I started my channel, and I told Roberto this, before I started my channel, I was watching Roberto and studying the content that he put out. Like, and that's no lie.
Roberto was everywhere. I kept seeing his face. I was like, who is this dude, bro? He everywhere.
Wait,
like, every time,
I got a story.
Every time I searched the tutorial. Go ahead, Terry.
Even today on Twitter, he was going live, yo.
Yeah, so
shout out to you, Roberto, because I was definitely in that stream.
I'm in here searching for the differences. Like, I tweeted I'm in the market for external SSD, right? So I'm trying to see if the speed difference between the Samsung T3 and T5 is worth it for the extra cost. Guess who popped up on it? Guess who popped up? Roberto Blake.
Roberto.
Years ago.
Roberto got the search algo on lock.
Samsung T5, #1 video pop right up, man. Like, ain't that something?
Hey, get that T5, my guy.
I'm trying to, it looked like I'm have to. I was thinking I was gonna be able to get a discount on that T3, but they ain't even selling no more. But all right, man, I'm gonna set up. I gotta get off here.
All right, y'all. We got y'all. What do we got? We got y'all questions on lock, man. I got them all down.
You might be able to get a discount on the T3 player. I will holler. We'll talk. Since I happen to have everything that you.
Listen,
I got it.
I got a whole shopping list of stuff I want to buy from CJ. CJ got lenses, toilet paper, like CJ got.
CJ a low key Walmart over there. He the next Amazon.
Mini Amazon, mini Amazon player out the cut.
I think this was a great stream, man. Thank y'all for everybody who came through. Shout out to everybody who came through. Everybody came through, dropped some jewels. Roberto, thanks for coming, dropping some jewels, man. Definitely appreciate it. A lot of people dropped some good jewels in here, man. Devin, check your PayPal.
Yeah, I just got a PayPal from.
Well, why I didn't get one?
Bro, appreciate that, bro. Appreciate you.
Well, that's selfish.
Hey, Levert, that's going to the group. I will share that amongst the group. Appreciate you, my guy. Yo, LBZ, I appreciate that, my guy. Appreciate
you. LB, hold up, player. There's a group link, player. You know what I'm saying? It's called Creator Cafe.
I want to know how LB got Devin's personal PayPal.
I'm trolling.
I low-key want to know. I literally just got. I'm like, PayPal. I'm like, okay.
I'm
like, looking. I'm like, the man ain't supposed to pay until next week. So I'm looking. I'm like, okay, well maybe they pay early. Okay.
He said, Terry, like, where my cut?
I thought. Give me my money. Hey, I appreciate you, LBZ. but I will share that amongst the group as
LB.
again
Give me my
on a
Give me
group.
my money.
We do.
Probably a private
Yeah.
donation to some undershirts. So, oh, he said
Oh, he said
Streamlabs
Streamlabs wasn't acting right.
Oh,
All right,
that's
respect,
get
player.
the email address.
Yo, he dropped 25 for the group.
Oh,
yo.
paper.
Yo,
Thank
shout
you,
out to
LB.
LBZ.
Oh man, thank you for the
Much
support,
love,
player.
much love,
Thank you for the
much
Appreciate
support.
that, LeBaron Burton, man. Hey, big shout out to you. Always in the stream supporting. We see you. Salute.
I
El
kind
Jefe-
of
El
said
Jefe
CJ
said
tripping.
his-
What I do, player? What I do? He said
El
I'm
Jefe
tripping.
say his 5 he don't think went through either.
Man,
No,
listen.
hey, Jefe, I got you. Oh, wait, I mean, it showed up in the on the Streamlabs thing. So, yeah, I definitely got you, Jefe. I see it.
Yeah, but I got you. I got you, LBZ. I got you.
Oh man, but at Streamlabs, hey, look, Streamlabs tripping, player. Like I said, StreamYards is coming. I don't know, but I don't know if they got a donation system. We're gonna get it all figured out. Like I said,
We'll
man,
work it out.
we creators, man. We come in here to create, and we're gonna work out the technicals later.
Oh, he said someone at Streamlabs didn't snatch that money.
Nah,
Listen,
Jefe, I
Streamlabs
got
is
it.
like,
No, we got it. We got it.
I mean, I'm
Yo,
getting
man,
off it, man. Yeah, that's. Go ahead. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
y'all, man. We appreciate y'all, man, stopping through with us again for another week, man. We had a good amount of people up in here, man. Appreciate all of the commentary, the interaction with us, man. It's been super dope. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of tonight's stream, man. As again, each and every week, man, we like to make sure that we giving out value to you guys, so that way you guys can see the value that we bring to y'all. And yeah, man, we got some dope videos that's gonna be coming next week from all of us. So definitely make sure y'all are keeping it locked to each one of our individual channels. Terry, CJ, y'all got something?
Hey, look, turning your
That was
speakers
cute.
up real loud. What you got, Terry? Hey, turn
no,
your
no, no.
speakers up.
Hey, play
I'm
that
getting
out
ready
on
to drop.
speakers.
I'm getting ready to drop this
Drop that heat.
Devin Fire, player.
Drop that heat.
It's-
Creator Cafe.
Boom.
Welcome to Creator Cafe. Welcome to Creator Cafe. Welcome to
Appreciate
Creator
y'all.
Cafe. Welcome to Creator Cafe. Welcome to Creator Cafe. Welcome to Creator Cafe.
Welcome to the cafe, A. About to give you live stream play by play. CJ in here, Terry in here. I'm just trying to get your boss speakers up here. What we say? Started on this journey, we ain't never trying to finish. First phase, this is just beginning of this business. Thanks for tuning in because we really need a witness. Running in this race, but it's Terry with the vision. CJ ideas with the quickness. Then it's me connect, add business. Next, add y'all the audience to the mix. Woo! Stay lit, my guy, we winning. Time to have fun, cafe. Whoa! 3 creators, 3 perspectives, 1 goal. Grab your popcorn now, let's play. Everybody, welcome to Creator Cafe. Hey!
Welcome to Creator Cafe. 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 Welcome to Creator Cafe.
John, just keep it. No, that's coming. That's coming. Keep it locked. That's coming.
Welcome to the cafe, A. About to give you live stream play by play. CJ in here, Terry in here. I'm just trying to get your boss speakers up here. What we say? Started on this journey, we ain't never trying to finish. First phase, this is just beginning of this business. Thanks for tuning in because we really need a witness. Running in this race, but it's Terry with the vision. CJ ideas with the quickness. Then it's me connect, add business. Next, add y'all the audience to the mix. Woo! Stay lit, my guy, we winning. Time to have fun, cafe. Whoa! 3 creators, 3 perspectives, 1 goal. Grab your popcorn now, let's play. Everybody, welcome to Creator Cafe.